Welcome in, everybody. This is the Honolulu Blues Show. I'm your host, Adam Stark, and I got my boys, Julius and Nick. And today, my guys, Victory Monday. Woo! Pop champagne. Woo! Oh, I love the flag. There we go.
Woo!
Yeah, interesting win. Very, if you were to tell me the Lions were going to beat the Packers 15-9 after weeks 4 or 5, I would have laughed and be like, no way, Rodgers is going to hang 40 on us and look like Aaron Rodgers. But man, oh man, that was not the case. The tides are turning. Unfortunately, some other NFC North teams are playing better too. But hey, if the Packers are sucking, it's all that matters, really. So, Nick, what's going on, my man? How have you been? Anything new?
Nothing new. Me and Julius, we're just talking about the blood moon that's happening tonight. So make sure you're in the Detroit area. It's between what I say, Julius? I think I said 3:30 in the morning to 6:30
and 6:30.
Yeah, between 3:30 and 6:30. So make sure you catch that. Hopefully you're listening to this live and not post. Other than that, Lions got to win. I got a lot to talk about the victory, inside victory and outside of the victory, of kind of what it does for the whole grand scheme of everything. Just not just this year, but the future of the Detroit Lions organization. Which might be a little dramatic based off of just one victory, but it is what it is. So I'm excited to talk all about this. Let's go. Go Lions.
Go Lions, indeed. Nick, you got any Lions apparel on?
I got
I like it. Yeah, I see the Red Wings. Speaking of Red Wings.
Hey, fourth in the East right now.
And that's we're in a tough division too, so it's
second in the division, fourth in the conference, and 3-game winning streak. We play again tomorrow. Pistons are playing tonight in 15 minutes. So we literally I have it marked down on my calendar. There's not much on my calendar, but there is a sporting event every single day. So Red Wings yesterday, Pistons today, Red Wings tomorrow, Pistons next day, Red Wings, Pistons, Red Wings. We're going to have the freaking World Cup starting in 2 weeks. Let's go USA. I believe that we can win. We have the Lions rolling, Pistons rolling, Red Wings rolling. It is a great holiday. Christmas movies are in season. It's a great time to be alive, boys. It's a great goddamn time to be alive. Let's go.
Hell yeah, man. I'm already starting to see all the Christmas wreaths post or pre, I guess, Thanksgiving. So, people are already getting the Christmas spirit. Thanksgiving Day, Lions vibes are approaching. The Lions are getting, better. I think.
Is Josh Allen going to even be playing that game?
That would be insane.
Isn't he injured right now?
Insane. He's got an elbow injury.
That would be the game where they're like, just sit him. It
would be the backup's Case Keenum. So Korver, he's played the Lions a couple times. So
I'd rather play Keenum than Allen. That's for sure.
Julius, what is going on, my man? I see you got a white Lions shirt on, and I'm commenting on the whiteness of that because none of the NFL Lions stores, Fanatics, none of these companies right now have Lions white jerseys. They're all out of stock, and the only white jerseys you can get are triple extra large jerseys. So I don't know what's going on with the white jersey shortage, but the Lions are only it seems like you can only find the Honolulu blues in the gray, or unless you want a white signed jersey, then that's it. But yeah, I love the white on you.
Appreciate it, my man. I actually got this from the 47 shop. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but they They partner with the Lions and other.
Yeah, they got some teams. Good stuff there.
Yeah.
I follow them on Instagram. Yeah,
they got some good stuff. It's pretty lit. So yeah, it's nice and comfortable. And I gotta rep the team because they won. I gotta, I'm not gonna green polo it on a victory Monday. So
hey, Michigan State won, so it'd be acceptable for a green polo actually.
No.
Hey man, they beat the city of Chicago, Yeah, I guess
Illinois,
whatever.
The state of Michigan.
State of Illinois.
It was the best game Michigan State played the
State
whole
of Chicago. Adam, strike one.
The city of Chicago, but I think
the city of
this
Chicago.
is a little things to come. Michigan taking down Illinois. We play the Bears next week. Fingers crossed, boys. But couple news notes, not a whole lot for the Lions. Nothing like players getting traded, coaches getting fired last week. But we did have DeAndre Swift still getting worked into his workload. He was limited snaps. We had Justin Jackson go for double Swift snaps. I know it seems a lot, but it was just 4 snaps to it too. Swift did have, actually those were rush attempts. Swift did have a couple other catches, which he was pretty good on the the receiving aspect. I think he had 3 catches, 40 yards. So solid there. I'm happy that we're not just throwing him back in there. Jamal Williams is playing well enough. So no one really got injured super bad last game. I know Rodriguez was banged up. They did have I didn't see a report about him. I know Dan Campbell in his press conference today said we are getting test results right now, but I don't know if they ever followed up with that. So
he went back in. He got injured, went back in the game, re-aggravated it, finished the game in not a cast, but like basically a cast. And they're getting x-rays on it. He hyperextended it bad, and I was very worried about it. I was happy to see him come back, but then after hearing he re-aggravated it, I'm super nervous about that. The Kerby Joseph injury seems to be okay. Like I hope he plays this week. Obviously, we'll talk about him, but we need him out there. He's a playmaker and a game changer. But I mean, obviously, he left with a concussion, and that's nothing to be joked about anymore. That's for dang sure. So I would say those are a couple big injuries, I would say.
Yeah, Dan Campbell did say that he's in the same, type of protocol as Amon-Ra was, who did, come back and play the next week. So as long as, he keeps going on the right steps, he should play next week, but nothing's for sure. But boys, outside of that, that's kind of it for the news. There's a lot to kind of talk about in this game. We had some players break out. Probably the biggest was Kerby Joseph. So let's talk about him. He is now in his 3rd straight game where he's forced a turnover. He has 4 turnovers in his last 3 games, a fumble, and 2 interceptions. So Kerby Joseph showing that he can do it all. He's a hard-hitting guy. He's just been getting phenomenal grades from PFF, from Lions beat reporters, all sorts of, media have been hyping this guy up, and we're starting to see it. So Kerby Joseph, he could be a nice diamond in the rough that we didn't really think we had weeks 1 through, 5, 6 even. So Nick, how much has Kerby impressed you, and has it been enough to say that it's been, more impressive than what Rodriguez has been doing?
No, but he has impressed me, but he hasn't impressed me that much in the sense of I called this, and I'll go check our draft recap show, and I'll pull the clip. I remember specifically saying like he's going to be starting for us, he is going to be balling out, and he will be a big playmaker this year for us. I saw this in college. If you saw the film, you saw this is nothing new. This is nothing new. He is a ball hawking machine. That's what he did in Illinois, and that's what he's doing right here. He almost had 3 interceptions. And in fact, he goes and tweets not about how good of a game he had and all this stuff. He tweets out, when you practice one-hand catches all the time in jugs and then you miss it at the game, and he's all upset. That's what he's not. Oh, I had 2 picks. He's pissed he didn't get a 3rd pick. Kerby Joseph, our peak performer, if I would without talking to anyone else, I'll probably unanimously say he is our peak performer. He was unbelievable, dude. And he has been, and he's just finding himself. And it really stinks losing Tracy Walker. But if that's what it took to earn Kerby Joseph the spot, and if losing Aubrey Pleasant was what it took to have our entire secondary step up big,
what the hell?
Then that's what it took. Like let's see how this carries over. He's not a Hall of Famer. I'm not putting a gold jacket on him by any means. 3 games, 4 turnovers. That's outstanding. That's more than the rest of our team combined. I'm pretty sure it's got to be close to it. So I love the kid. I love what he's done. But to answer your original question, which is, has he done enough to like impress you enough more than Rodriguez or anything like that? No, I saw this. I knew this was happening. Rodriguez, I had no idea, and he continues to be one of the best defensive players on our team. It stinks he only saw 19 snaps yesterday because of the injury, but I love both of them. Great building blocks.
Yeah, perfect, honestly. Especially Kerby, I think, was that second, third round pick too. So nothing, high draft capital too high, I guess, on Kerby. So Julius, any thoughts on Kerby? And do you think think he's done enough to beat out, Hutch or Rodrigo?
Yeah, he's up there with Hutch already because, this is starting to become a trend here, folks. We're talking about multiple games, multiple turnovers. Seems like we found a player. Seems like Brad Holmes found an absolute steal in the third round. If you go back and look at his stats in college, he was a top-rated safety in coverage in college his last 2 years in college. And now he's bringing that directly to the NFL. So I feel like this is a good Kerby Joseph is a good player, but I also want to give a shout out to another young defender, not named Malcolm Rodriguez or Aiden Hutchinson or Kerby Joseph, Derek Barnes. Dude had 12 tackles. He was all over the team. He was all over the field. Looks like all that potential we see that we've been talking about for 2 years now is starting to come to fruition, maybe.
And the reason Derek Barnes got that opportunity is because Rodrigo got injured, thus taking Rodrigo out basically of the equation and thus allowing Alex Anzalone, who's just going to be there, and now Derek Barnes to step up. And they played miraculously, in my opinion, compared to what I expected out of them. So,
hey, I guess it's getting to a point where you could start asking maybe it might be time to phase Anzalone out, slowly and just have a Barnes Rodrigo,
give them their chances,
Yeah.
We lose one more game. Yes, I agree. If we win 5 straight and we're 7-6,
of course they're going to go with the veteran. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But which I don't expect that to happen, but there's a chance, Don't forget what I told you last week, boys. It was the 1986 Cincinnati Bengals, only team to ever go 1-6 and make the playoffs. They didn't have 7 playoff teams back then either. All we got to do is rally against the Bears. All we got to do is win one at a time.
Yeah. The Bears game, this is their season again right here. If they can win, if they can beat the Bears, and it's the Giants after that, right? Before the Bills?
I think you're right. Yeah.
The Giants, one at a time. But if they can get to the Bears, then they start talking about the Giants. Then you got the bigger picture going.
That's so true. What if we get to 4-6? Stop it, boys.
Can't
happen. We'll lose to the Bills. We'll be done.
We were talking about Bryce Young, CJ Stroud last week.
Oh, man. Yeah, we were. Now, what do you think about that? Can we switch this topic real quick just from Kerby Joseph and just play ping pong with all the topics that we want to talk about today?
Go for it.
This win drops us from first pick to
fifth. I know. Everyone's kind of freaking out about that.
So now we're out of Will Anderson, and we're out of Bryce Young, and we're out of CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Now we're looking at I don't know, some other guys that aren't those 3. So it's what are we happy with the win? It's a long season. Are we? Right? It's always you got to beat Green Bay, right?
Green Bay, yeah. And
it's only their second win, so I'm not tripping. But if they go on a winning streak, then we're gonna be looking back at okay, dang.
And it's interesting.
We F ourselves.
Our second half of our schedule, coming into the season, was this was a cupcake schedule. The second half, and now Bears, they finally figured out how to use Justin Fields. You got the Giants and, getting coached up by Dable, the Bills, the Jaguars, who, you never know. E10's playing better. Vikings, who are 7-1. The Jets, who are pretty good. The Panthers, I guess, are the only team that I feel like the Lions could, that you could probably pencil that in as a W. But even then, I don't think you could pencil any game in as a W for the Lions.
No, but I'm also not penciling any of those games in outside of the Bills. It's depending on what about Josh Allen's injury.
My buddy just texted me something, said it could be a 4-week delay.
That's what I've been hearing. So I'm very curious what happens with Josh Allen. So all I'm saying is I'm not penciling any of them. I'm not penning any of them down as an L either. Not as a W. You're right, but not as an L. And like we were saying, just one at a time. You just go beat the Bears.
You imagine? Oh my gosh, if we beat the Bears, beat the Giants, and they announce Case Keenum starting the Thanksgiving Day game, Lions are 3-6 on a 3-game win streak.
4-6 at that point.
You're right, 4-6. Yes. Oh my god.
And we waited. We go 5-6. Oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
No, I mean, now we're just sipping some Kool-Aid because
we
the
totally
Lions
are.
That's
mean, okay. That's what we do as Lions fans.
We played such a trash Green Bay Packers deep team. Like, what a terrible Aaron Rodgers. I've never seen him look this bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. If we're gonna go back to the game, holy crap. I was there. Me and my dad were like, who is this guy? His receivers were getting open. He was just missing them. It was over deep
on purpose.
Even on there was only one interception that was kind of like a mistake, and honestly, you could fault to Rodgers because he hit his own guy or hit one of the Lions guys, but he hit their helmet and it just popped up, and it was the Kerby Joseph one. But the Hutchinson one, Rodgers literally threw that blindly, and Hutchinson. I don't know if this was the scheme or if he just read Rodgers like a book, but whatever Hutchinson did was perfect. And Rodgers literally was releasing the ball, and as he was throwing it, was like, oh no, this is going to be intercepted, and he just could not stop himself. And sure enough, Hutch was right there, picked it off. They were trying to do a little trick play to back Atari. I'm like, thank you. So it was good to see Rodgers really struggled. Not to mention the tickets that I had a 4-game package. It was in the visitor side. So I'm with all these Packers fans, and of course all these Lions fans have sold their tickets to Packers fans who, don't really get to see the Packers a whole lot. But, come to Detroit, they flood it, and they did have, I would at least say 30 to 40% of fans there. When Green Bay came out, it was loud. I was like, man, my Charger Stadium, what's going on here? So nonetheless, Julius, do you think this is going to be the last of Aaron Rodgers? And a little side note, he has a $99 million dead cap next year. So it's not like the Packers can just cut him willy-nilly.
I don't know. Because I can't really pinpoint exactly what their problem is in Green Bay. Because they do have a lack of talent in the pass catchers. And they got a lot of injuries going. But I don't want to make that excuse about injuries because every NFL team got injuries, especially the Lions. So BS the injuries, you know what I'm saying? Any other game, Aaron Rodgers would have toasted the Lions. This is our first win in 5 tries. So I don't think things look good for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Also, that Aiden Hutchinson interception was legit because now Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to be a threat to do that on the goal line a lot more. Yeah. Because he's going to know. He's going to be situational in that situation. He's going to have the awareness to sniff that out. And that's a very valuable thing to have in an edge linebacker or edge DN to come off the line and play in coverage.
Yeah, and fun fact about Aaron Rodgers, how bad he played. 3 interceptions. Only the 3rd time he's done that in his NFL career. First time was his first season as a starter. Second time was his first game coming off a 7-week absence of collarbone surgery injury. And the 3rd game was yesterday. So I don't know what the Lions did, but man, oh man, it was good. It wasn't just the interceptions. It was pass deflections. It was, pressure. There's a couple plays where we did let Rodgers, scramble for 15, 20 yards, which sucked. But all in all, it was a solid performance by the defense.
I don't want to take away anything from the defense, but here's just something I noticed. Aaron Rodgers purposely threw those balls poorly. And especially towards the end, I have never seen Aaron Rodgers just throw such a sidearm huck and chuck.
That was a weird 4th and 10 play. Yeah.
I'm positive that he saw multiple open receivers and elected to look to the next guy multiple times. And when he did have open receivers, threw bad passes. He did not want to win that game. He does not want to win with the Packers this year. I don't know if it's in spite of LaFleur. I don't know if it's in spite of them not doing enough to get him weapons. but he is going to tank. We will see a full-on Aaron Rodgers who does not care at all for the rest of this season, and it's going to be crazy. And I think we saw yesterday, and I don't want to take away anything. Detroit played really well. Realistically, I think Aaron Rodgers just did not want to win that game, and if he did want to, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about a win. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. I feel like Rodgers, I feel like coming into the game, he was like, this is my get-right game. I'm about to drop 500 yards on them. We're going to smoke them. Lions defense is terrible. Dak just, bounced back, played perfectly. I'm up next. And it was kind of rattled first couple drives, and things just got off to a bumpy start. And probably by halftime, he was like, you know what? Was just so mentally checked out of the game. He was just like, I'm ready for next season. The Vikings probably got whiff. The Vikings were winning or, just knew they were playing the Commanders, who were not a good team. And, assumed that the Giants are a good team. They're going to steal a wild card spot. There's not a whole lot. You got the NFC West, so
out of the wild card right now, there's 3 wild card teams, right? And 2 of them are both 6-2, the Giants and the Cowboys. The 4th wild card team is the 4-4 Niners, followed by the 4-5 Falcons. 4-5 Falcons. And then the 3-5 Rams, and then the 3-6 Packers Bears. They're literally separated by 1.5 games right now. The Lions are only out of it by 3.5 games, 2.5 games. We're not far out of it.
Could you imagine
if we just get a couple wins, dude? We're right in.
We're here. Let me just inject the Kool-Aid.
Yes, please, because I need it.
Lions, if we do theoretically sneak into that 7th wild card spot, we're probably going to be playing against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Or no, we would be we would be against the.
We would play the 2nd seed, which is the Vikings.
Yeah, it would be the Vikings. Which I would absolutely take the Vikings.
An interdivision game. That's our best chance to win a playoff game. Playoffs. If we made it to the playoffs, we played the Vikings. My God, we'd be moving on.
That's it.
Mark it now, boys. Mark it now. All we gotta do is just beat the Bears, and there's an opportunity. And if you haven't heard, the Bears are trash. So it's like, let's go. We have no chance at losing this game. Is it in Soldier Field or in Fort?
Yes, it is in Soldier Field. So
good. Even better for us to win.
I hope it's a rainy, windy, soggy. One thing before we get into that game, oh man, just please just keep Justin Fields in check. I don't care if you have to spy 3 guys on him. Just don't let him rush for 178 yards, breaking an NFL record. My boy, Michael Vick, Justin Fields broke that record. That made me so mad. So Lions, please, Hutch, just sack him to the ground. Don't let him scramble. I want to see the beast Hutch we know we have. Give me those 3 sacks at halftime and then double it at another 3 second half. So
just imagine. Lions beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and then they beat Justin Fields and the Bears. Both teams will be demoralized.
Yeah, did you hear what Rodgers said? We can't lose like that to that team. Oh my gosh. I heard that and was like, Aaron Rodgers, you're such a bitch. Dude. I hate him so much. But speaking of Aiden Hutchinson being a beast that we know he is, picks in a red zone pick. We had 2 end zone interceptions. Our defense wasn't looking great. We were letting up Rodgers had like a 3rd and 17 rush at one point. But we buckled down in the red zone. The best our red zone defense has ever played. And Aiden Hutchinson, he's leading the league rookies in sacks, quarterback hits, quarterback pressures, everything. He's up there in interceptions now with his 1. So, I mean, I'm loving Hutch, dude. What a good pick that was for real. We need to if we could get Will Anderson on the side of him, let's get the 3rd pick and not get any of those quarterbacks and get Will Anderson, and then just pick the Florida kid, Richardson, with the Rams pick, who also lost.
Will Anderson only had 2 tackles in the Alabama LSU game, so draft stock might be sliding, might fall down to that 5th spot. So, I would love some Will Anderson. But yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, to touch on him a bit, I get his stuff is coming in really weird ways because like some of his stats look really bad, and then the other stats are like, oh man, this dude's a freak athlete. And at the end of the day, how I look at it is he's showing that he can, hit the peaks in all these aspects. If it's, coverage, if it's hands, ability to, make the catch. There's so many linemen that just hits their hands and they drop it and they go, oh man, I should have caught that. So it is hard to catch balls in the NFL, especially when Aaron Rodgers is throwing it. I get it was kind of an easy pass, but still. And he's shown he can get 3 sacks, not just in a game, but in a half. So he's got great awareness. And if you, give me pieces of that throughout an entire first season, man, the second season, sky's the limit. I honestly think we could see Hutch, piece all this together, have games where it's like 2 sacks, an interception, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery, etc. So, Julius, are you starting to see more pieces of this puzzle where Hutch is starting to get the ball rolling?
Yes, I've been seeing it. And Aiden Hutchinson, he has to lead the league in blown hold calls. I swear, every single game I'm watching, I went to the Cowboy game in person. I'm watching. He's getting held every other play. And the referee, for some reason, does not throw the flag. But his moves are there. And his awareness is there. And his motor is there. We got a hell of a player in Detroit.
Adam, did you say this about Hutch, or can I steal your...
What is it?
Your stat. Second rookie defensive lineman. Second Detroit Lions rookie defensive lineman to get an interception since 1951.
No.
Right?
Or no. Okay, so I don't know. That might be true.
Aiden Hutchinson right here. Just the second Lions rookie lineman to pick off pass since 1951.
Wow.
Isn't that a stat?
The other stat that I had, Aiden Hutchinson and Kerby Joseph, first Lions pair of rookies to have an interception in the same game since 1952.
Oh my gosh, dude. Some crazy stats are being broke right now, boys. I didn't even steal your stat, Adam. We just dropped 2 knowledge bombs on everyone listening. Well done.
Speaking of Kerby Joseph, you guys see his Instagram post?
He's just farting.
You ain't seen shit.
You ain't seen shit yet.
Dude, him and Jamal Williams, they have to be best friends. I'm like, you guys, like, this is such...
He got the right attitude.
Funniest Instagram post I've ever seen.
So does Jerry Jacobs. He does too.
Jay Jacobs.
Yes, Jacobs, yeah, very true.
And then he gets the worst pass interference call on him. And then did you all see that tweet I put out about Amon-Ra St. Brown being yanked back and no call at all? Dude, we weren't... And they were like, luckily, the refs kind of were calling a fair game, luckily, but they were still missing calls left and right for the Lions. And I was still getting angry. Like, you just can't let these calls be missed on a daily basis, like our weekly basis. Like, it can't happen. There has to be some kind of consequence. There needs to be.
I know. I've always thought that. Like,
how can you not go back? You have an entire 6 days. Go back, review the game, and for any missed call or anything like that, you ask them. And if it's egregious enough, there's a fine that comes along with it. And yeah, sure, they're not getting paid the most amount of money, but they're not doing it as full-time job anyways. They all have a career and do this on the side.
Right.
So you can still find these, like, but NFL is so scared because of the freaking ref lockout that they'll never.
Yeah,
I'll go ref a goddamn game. I'll go ref a game. Shit.
I'll ref a game right now.
I'll ref a game right now. Get me on a Lions game.
I'll drop everything, and I'll be fair and unbiased at all times.
Dude, I'll go ref the Jaguars and the Raiders. I do not care. I want to go ref.
If Aiden Hutchinson gets held 7 times in one game, guess what? I'm gonna throw 7 flags for him.
Every time. Flag.
100%. That's why we need you out there, Julius. Just go put a little mustache on, or just like, want to get the ref hat.
I'm gonna wear the ref shirt and the ref hat on the next show with the whistle. With the red flags on Nick. I'm throwing
put a mask on. Tell everyone
I ain't done nothing wrong.
I'm throwing flags on all of Adam's cold takes.
I'm throwing flags on all Adam's sunflower seeds takes. That's
every time he chokes on a sunflower seed, I'm gonna throw a flag at this
flag. Bring him out, dude. Every time he scratches his guts, shitting that out.
All right, boys. There's been some rumors.
Okay.
Does Dan Campbell own Aaron Rodgers? He's 2-1 against them, so has a chance to go to 3-1 against Rodgers, which would be absolutely awesome. Something that I don't think any Lions coach has had a 3-1 stretch against Aaron Rodgers, or even any Packers quarterback. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but Dan Campbell's done not so bad. So, all in all, maybe.
Are you trying to get Dan Campbell off the hot seat right now? That motherfucker's still on the hot seat.
No,
one win is not getting him off of it. You know
okay, if we're gonna talk about something that kept him on the hot seat, Lions are up 6 points, 4th and 3. We're on the Green Bay 43-yard line. 2 minutes, 4 seconds to go. The Lions go for it. Personally, I'm punting this like 9 times out of 10, unless it's, you have something super, super good dialed up. But I felt like giving the ball back to Rodgers at the 43-yard line in this circumstance, every Lions fan was like, what are you doing? We've seen this show before. He's about to get the ball back and walk down the field. And sure enough, he kind of did, but thankfully the Lions defense stepped up and got the job done. But all in all, this was another scratching 4th and 3 that I get if we would have got it, puts the game away. But I don't know. Nick, what were some of your thoughts on this? Were you getting, like, here we go again?
Yeah, absolutely I was. Everyone was getting that freaking fear and the feeling, and yeah, we're going to lose this game. How much are we paying freaking Jack Fox? Isn't he one of the top highest paid punters in the league?
He's the highest paid punter in the league.
Oh,
He's
that's
highest,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good thing. Because old Dan Campbell doesn't even use them. What are we doing at this point? Just get rid of them. What are we doing? And the announcer, Adam, you were at the game, so the announcer is like, well, it's a good thing he's gonna punt here, because if he hits a touchback, well, it's only a net 23 yards. And I was like, yes, sir, but we have the best punter in the NFL. We are paying him the highest amount of money for any punter because he is, and I will say it from the rooftops, the best punter in the NFL today. Yet we trust Jared Goff on 4th and 3. What the fuck, dude? This was like the most boneheaded, dumbheaded, egregious, aggressive, arrogant, stupid, idiotic call I've ever seen. I just hate it. I absolutely hate it. Let Jack Fox punt that. Didn't we already punt the ball and down it at the 1 earlier in the game? Didn't that happen?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Unbelievable punt and special teams coverage. Trust us to do it again. We've shown you on tape that we can do it. What we haven't shown you is that we can get a 4th down. I don't know. Refresh my memory. What was our 4th down conversion against?
0 for 2.
So we literally had shown you that we couldn't do it and that we could punt it. And we showed you on film in game. Everyone had seen it. And Dan Campbell said, I don't care what I've seen. I know we can get this first down. And we did.
It was terrible. Commercial going off there.
It was terrible. Just I hated it. I don't know. Julius, am I right? Am I wrong? What am I?
You know what's absolutely insane?
Right.
Real quick, Nick. I'm pulling up the play-by-play. 4th and 3 on the Green Bay 48. Jack Fox punts it 47 yards, downs at the 1-yard line. Literally, not the same exact, but 5 yards from the same exact.
So you take a delay a game, and I've seen teams do that time in and time out. You try to get them to jump off sides. You try to get them to jump off sides. You keep trying to get them to jump. And if they don't, you take the delay game. 48. We're right back to where we are. Trust Jack Fox to do the exact same thing. Terrible. We will not. We won this game because Aaron Rodgers led us, in my opinion. But every other quarterback is gonna get you what you need right there if you're Aaron Rodgers. And we were up by 6. You knew they were gonna get that touchdown and extra point to win that freaking game. Luckily they didn't, but it was a bad call. You
just can't do that with Jared Goff as your quarterback, man. That's the problem. Like, it's not a bad idea. Like, if we had a good quarterback, you were like, oh, God, if that was Stafford, he might complete it.
or someone with legs who can run.
Mobile quarterback. Honestly,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson
Fields.
Yeah.
I heard a stat on him. He's 16 for 20 on third down conversions in which he runs. Like, oh man.
Oh, converted 16 of the 20.
Listen, I'm scared because the Lions don't do well against running quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know.
They don't.
No, they don't.
Hate the Bears, but yeah, man, running quarterbacks, they are starting to scare me. And Justin Fields, they're finally figuring out what to do with him. So, all in all, Aaron Rodgers looked bad, but Jared Goff honestly looked worse. Like besides the other 2 interceptions, Jared Goff had a terrible interception to Jair Alexander where I forget who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Amon-Ra, might have been Khalif. They were right when he broke. He was wide the hell open. And Goff waited an extra 3 seconds to throw it to him. And by that time, you had Jair Alexander read his eyes, step in front, and get an interception, which I'm pretty sure it led to a field goal for the Packers. So
no, it led to a Kerby Joseph interception. That's what.
That's okay.
But also on the tweet that I put out, and if anyone hasn't seen it, just go to Honolulu Blues Twitter and you'll see when I put the tweet out of the guy grabbing Amon-Ra St. Brown and ripping him back, which is an obvious defensive penalty. Jared Goff did the same thing where Amon-Ra St. Brown was open when he hit the break and then got pulled, yanked to the ground, almost got up. Then the ball was there. It was 3 seconds too late. What are we doing? Jared Goff is so bad. And why we're trusting him on 4th and 3. Again, I think it's I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Go ahead.
I would have been more comfortable with a handoff to Jamal Williams right up the middle,
No.
There was a slight chance where Goff throws that ball too quick and it leaves 2:01 left on the clock or something, and they get that 2-minute warning play. So that was just everything was going through my head when I was watching that.
Got the win though.
Yeah.
That last drive almost had a heart attack because we forced 2 fumbles out of bounds. And then,
oh my God!
The last fumble,
we almost had it.
The last fumble, if they would have ruled it that he advanced the fumble, I would have.
When AJ Dillon, dude, if they would have gave him that first down, it would have been the same old referees, dude.
Definitely.
And I was gonna be irritated. And then we get another fumble, and we almost have it, and Okuda comes sliding in, grabs the ball as he's sliding out of bounds. It's dude, if you're sliding out of bounds, don't grab it. I don't know.
Okuda is kind of a goof, man, because he also took out 2 players, hit stick style.
Yeah.
2 of his own players in the same
But
game.
he also took out Romeo Dubs first play of the game. Dude's just taking people out on the rig. You know what I mean? You just, if you're out
defensive backs in the league right now by grade and by eye test. He's literally all over the field in the run game.
I was really pissed that Jair Alexander got that interception though, because earlier in the game, or maybe I don't know, when he and Savage, is that his name? One of the other secondaries, they ripped our Tom Kennedy out of bounds and flung him out of bounds. And you could tell that was frustration. I was pissed, dude. I was pissed. I was like, Jair Alexander's a little bitch. He needs to go. And then he got the pick, and I was like, damn it. Right. Back. So, but he's good. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So
you kind of knew that was going to happen with everything that Goff's been doing as of late. Also, Derek Barnes, I know we did touch on him, but he had the only sack in the game and the only Lions or Packers sack. So Barnes started to step it up. It would be really nice to see him, get another step increased. He is a pretty, speedy linebacker. So perhaps we want to keep him and Rodrigo out there, maybe even Anzalone, and have, 3 mobile linebackers that, cover a running quarterback at Justin Fields. So Dan Campbell, I know you're listening, or whoever is, I know you guys send out one Lions, a scout to listen to the pod. So
I bet the Lions do have a podcast scout. I don't know why, but it feels like that's something they would have,
Just goes through every Detroit Lions podcast.
Anything Detroit Lions podcast or anything like
that. These 3 guys, this is the 3rd time now where they've said something pretty good, and we've trusted them before, so we should try it again.
That's so funny.
All right. Before we dive into this Bears game, let's talk real quick about the 2 injured guys. Josh Paschal and Jerry Jacobs, both of them have really started to step it up. They're starting to see their snaps increase more and more. If these guys are playing like a full game, and honestly, if both of those guys were there week 1, I think our defense is a lot different. So you can really see that these guys are making impacts.
Yeah, I agree. I also wanted to, before we got in there, just kind of shout out the offensive line. 0 sacks.
That's right.
For Jared Goff. Not a lot of hurries either. There was a few, and we saw like a bad throw on fourth. I think it was 4th down, right, to Tom Kennedy in the end zone. But overall, really good offensive line showing. Taylor Decker had an amazing block, for our 2-point conversion, which really worked out for us. After that was kind of like they almost didn't want to give us. There was a few times they didn't want to give us some stuff. They almost didn't want to give us that penalty of him running into the kicker. The refs had to really think that one over. There was another one, and I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but they had to like go to like review it basically. And finally we're like, okay, all right, Detroit gets the ball, I guess. And we're like, yeah, okay, dude, fuck off. Like, yeah, but just shout out offensive line. Looked really good.
Yeah, they did. It's looking better each week.
Do you think DeAndre Swift out snaps Justin Jackson next week? Justin Jackson had 13 snaps this week. DeAndre Swift had 10.
Yes, I think he does.
I think he will, yeah.
I think he's getting healthier every week.
You think so? You think he's just staying? I think he's just staying parallel right now.
I think he's getting healthier every week. He showed a little more juice yesterday. I'm surprised they didn't use him a little bit more.
That's what I'm saying. 50 yards, right? Like 50 yards
on like 5 touches or something.
Yeah, and 5 touches. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, give him the ball more.
What are we doing? Yeah, exactly. All right, Craig Reynolds, come in here.
Honestly,
he got hurt in the beginning of the game. That's why
Craig was
right. Justin Jackson. I mean, to say you're right.
That's why they were giving Justin Jackson more.
He looked plenty fine. Quick. Yeah. Hits holes north and south. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, he does. He's a solid backup runner. I like Justin Jackson. I'm glad he kind of found his spot on the team. All right.
No one said that we won and dropped to the 5th pick.
I would be, but
losing out on the chance to get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud.
If
I don't think we're more important to win our second game against Green Bay than it is to get a game franchise-altering quarterback. Is that correct?
If we keep losing here on out, I mean,
what if we do?
And we might. But if we keep winning and say we finish 7-9 or some malarkey and don't make the playoffs and we're out of the top 5,
what does your gut tell you we're gonna do?
And if we did finish,
he says no comment. I plead the 5th.
I don't have a
Lions.
2020. The Lions have decapacitated my gut in the last 30 years of watching them. I don't have a gut feeling about anything about the Lions.
Okay, Adam, what do you say about
the draft has fallen our way, the last couple of years, especially in 2020. If you're looking at those first 2 quarterbacks off the board, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, and even you could go as far as top 3, Trey Lance, who hasn't really played much. The Lions kind of, if you look at the last 7 picks as opposed to the first 7, 6-ish, the back 7's way better. You got like Jamar Chase, Sewell, Parsons, Surtain, tons of elite talent. So it's kind of a good year to pass on quarterbacks. So you never know, Nick.
Zach Wilson and the Jets just beat the Bills, dude. I'm pretty sure Zach Wilson is a top pick right now, and deservingly so. He's won 5 of
Robert
6
Saleh
games.
He's
won 5 out of 6 games. Could you imagine being 5 and 6? Robert Saleh was signed the same year as Dan Campbell.
I know. I don't want to hear it.
Zach Wilson was drafted that year. Could you imagine if we didn't fuck around with Goff and we would have just drafted someone like Zach Wilson? If we would have drafted Zach Wilson instead of Penei Sewell, do you think we would have more than 2 wins this year?
No.
No?
Well,
so? I do.
I hate to say it, but I feel like Justin Fields is like the only one that's like just the way he's played the last couple games. I'm just like, I don't know.
He's not winning the games, though. It's all about winning games. You have to win.
He's not, but it's like, look at what Jalen Hurts was last year. Like all these mobile quarterbacks and Lamar Jackson and et cetera. It's like they start with a garbage team, then they get $100 million in cap space, load up on draft picks, and then
need a mobile quarterback in the NFL. That's for sure.
I am afraid.
That's why I'm saying the Florida. If we miss out on Stroud or Young, look at the Florida guy. I think his name's something.
Oh, Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that guy, Anthony Richardson. That guy's a dog. Him. That's who we should be getting, boys.
And then also, Nick, you're kind of missing the point here because the Lions could win a playoff game. We go on and win the Super Bowl and still get the number 1 overall pick because the Rams have been so damn bad, baby. They only have one more win than the Lions. Matthew Stafford has just not looked like himself. It seems like he got his ring and just has, taken the checks. And I mean, I'm nothing against Stafford, but this team is just, not what it used to be. And seeing Tom Brady march down the field in like 30 seconds to beat them, this team with Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey, 3 Hall of Famers probably, it's like, oh man, this is not the Super Bowl team from last year. So honestly, the Rams, they have one of the harder schedules and this year, so it wouldn't shock me if they're probably not going to finish with the number 1 overall pick, but they certainly could finish top 5, top 6, in which the Lions could package up to get the number 1 overall pick. But I know it would stink to have to use that Rams pick. But
wouldn't it have been better if we would have just lost Aaron Rodgers and we got that number 1 overall pick? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm looking at some of these other, bad teams. Who do we have to compete with? I guess the Texans, Steelers. Okay, Steelers play the Saints next week. So, Saints are a 3-win team. Steelers are a 2-win team. But all in all, it
doesn't matter. Too early to talk about draft. I was just joking around.
Let the dominoes fall.
What if we make the playoffs? That could happen. 2-6, baby. Just like Julius drew it up preseason.
I'll be pissed because they could have won the 14 games I predicted earlier if they would have just beat the Vikings, beat the Eagles, beat the
Seahawks.
Well, the Seahawks are pretty good, so it's like,
and we should have beat them. We couldn't. We didn't. We let up 48 points or 5 points.
Stole a Seahawks and a Vikings game.
Minnesota, could you imagine? 6-1.
Dude, and we should have beat them.
We beat them. We did beat them.
Eagles are 8-0. And we were right there with them. We were one stop away.
We were one onside kick decision from winning that game.
Yeah. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, right?
I love it, Nick. I will say real quick on the tanking the Lions and the Texans. The Texans, because the NFL is scripted sometimes, and Vegas does have a time machine, and they love to make their money. Deshaun Watson, he's going to lose his first game back against the Texans in Texans Stadium, I believe. In Texans Stadium. So Deshaun Watson's first game back, it's going to be all hyped up. And then we're going to get, he's not going to look himself. Texans are going to look good and sneak away with the game, just like the Broncos choked against the Seahawks, who ironically now it makes more sense, but at the time it was very head scratchy.
Absolutely. And the Texans are a pretty good team. They played the Eagles really well for the first half. And they
were hanging. They were hanging.
Running behind Dameon Pierce and their secondary of Stingley and Jalen Petre. David Smith. I mean, they're still going to be looking for a quarterback, but I bet they win a couple more games this year. I mean, we'll see. Who knows?
So.
Let's
all right.
Let's beat the Bears.
Let's talk some Lions versus Bears. We are heading into this game as 3-point dogs. Over under is set at 48.5. This is only going to be our third in-divisional opponent we've played. We are 1-1 as of now, so it would be hilarious if the Lions were 2-1 in division play, but only had 3 wins. So very Lions thing to do. But Nick, give me some first thoughts on this game. You think we could sneak away a Bears win, or you think they're starting to look more and more legit?
Real quick before I get into that, you were like, we started out as 3-point dogs. Have you seen the video? I do not know how old this video is. It could be many, many moons old. It could be new. This kid, this high school football player is like, let me tell you about my running back room. Joe Smith, dog. Bob Barker, dog. Billy Smith, Dog. Oh, yeah, he's just the fastest track player. Dog. Have you seen this video? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Funniest thing ever, and it reminded me of that. Detroit Lions, we got a bunch of dogs, baby. Dogs. Do I think we can beat the Bears? The Bears are trash. Yeah, I think we can beat the Bears. They made a good trade for Chase Claypool. I like that trade. But they also traded away Roquan Smith. Their defense is nothing to write home about. Our offense should be able to move the ball up and down consistently. We are finding our way with our defense. I would like to see Rodrigo out there, but if Barnes can continue to play as well as he did last week, I'll be very happy with it. We'll have to contain Fields. It's going to be very hard to do. I think Rodrigo is a better containment player than Barnes is, where Barnes is better at just kind of going up and down against a slower quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. So I hope that Rodrigo's out there. I hope that Kerby's out there. We need his game-changing ability. It's great to see Jerry Jacobs coming alive. Jeff Okuda's looking great. I don't see any reason why we can't win this game. Soldier Field doesn't scare me. That's the only reason why we're 3 points down is because it's in Soldier Field, but that does not bother me whatsoever. We're coming off of a huge win. It was a trap game against Green Bay, and now we got momentum on our side. And all we're saying is we just have to win 1 week in a row. Aaron Glenn's feeling good. I think everyone got the fire lit under their ass when Aubrey Pleasant was let go. That's huge, and I think the sound waves, echoed throughout the entire defensive hall. So I'm very excited to see what we do this game. We're going to have to shut down Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery because our run game has been putrid all year, except for last week, which we looked amazing against A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. So that was great to see. But we're going to have to step up and we're going to have to stop them. And I think we have the ability to do it. It's going to come down to Jared Goff making sure he executes on offense time in and time again, because I bet that Chicago scores 27 points against us. And I think we win the game 29-27. Let's go Lions.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. And also another reason, incentive for the Lions to, win this game or want to win, or Lions fans wanting to win this game. If the Packers lose to the Cowboys, in which they probably will, because Dallas has just looked pretty good, and the Packers have looked terrible, all the Lions would have to do is beat the Bears, and we jump to second place in the division. Now, unfortunately, the Vikings are far and ahead. But
now, Julius, we were talking about this. I don't know if you caught this. The 7th seed right now in the NFC is 4-4. It's the 4-4 Niners, I think, or something like that. If we go to 3-6, and they go to 4-5, the 7th place seed will be 4-5 at best.
Yeah. It'll be open, baby. You
That's
never
only
know.
one game more than the Lions would have won if we beat the Bears. I am just saying.
Can Jared Goff win a playoff game for the Lions?
I hope he can win us a playoff game and be replaced in the same
That'd
year.
be great.
That's my dream. That is my dream.
Impossible.
It would be. However, if he wins us a playoff game and we do decide to spend all 5 draft picks on defense next year and just load up with Jameson coming back and Amon-Ra and everything, could be pretty elite, even with Goff. Like, that could be so good that even Goff can't fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like, Campbell will do his best to fuck it up, but we'll see what we can do. I don't know.
All right, Julius, what are your thoughts? You think we can stomp the Bears?
Well, and I think it all comes down to containing Justin Fields. As long as we don't let Justin Fields run for 200 yards, then we should be fine. And unlike Jalen Hurts, he doesn't really have, and Geno Smith too, he doesn't really have elite receivers or pass catchers to throw to. You see his most targeted guys are like Cole Kmet, their tight end. Darnell Mooney, I don't know if, he's kind of mid average, as long as I think our secondary is up to the task. So it just depends if our edge players and our linebackers are up to the task of containing Fields. And I hope they are, okay? I hope they learned a lot of lessons in the past with Jalen Hurts. They're watching a lot of film on Fields. I believe our defense can not let it get out of hand. Now, offensively, can we score the ball? Something we've had such a hard time doing the last 3-4 weeks. Jared Goff with all these turnovers and these horrible throws. I think a lot of it depends on DeAndre Swift. I really think that he needs to get healthier and get more touches. You saw he had 5 touches for like 50 yards on like 12 snaps or something. He's still a great pass blocker as well. I mean, we need this guy on the field for our offense to do more than score 15 points, 6 points, whatever malarkey we've been doing, because we can't count on Jared Goff to just go off with Amon-Ra and his gang of pass catchers every week. So I'm saying Lions 21, Bears 20.
I like it. Gosh, how do I be
Thriller in Soldier Field.
I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid too.
The Kool-Aid starts flowing once we beat the Bears.
Very true. Very true. I don't know. I think, the Bears aren't that talented. Like, Dan Campbell should know, hey, if I can stop this guy from running, that should really increase our chances to win this game, because he's not the best thrower. So hopefully, you just do the easy, what's supposed to be done, and don't try to get cute, Campbell. Just, focus on containing Fields. Don't over pursuit, because that can happen too. But all in all, I think the Lions get a dub. We're riding a little momentum here. Another interdivision game. Could also be Dan Campbell's first road win too, so another little something to play for. I think the Dogs, we get it done. I'm going to go 27-21 Lions win. Hutch had 3 sacks.
Hey,
that'd be great.
In the first game against Jalen Hurts, how many sacks did Hutch whiff on?
A lot.
Like 3 or 4?
Yep.
He needs to get home on Fields.
And that was his first game ever as an NFL player. I think we're going to see a different kind of Hutch with this kind of Russian quarterback. Also, Dan Campbell cannot be outcoached by Matt Eberflus. He cannot be outcoached by him. That's going to be a huge make or break. That's really what this game is going to come down to. And lastly, before this show ends, we didn't even mention once, James Mitchell, rookie tight end, catches a touchdown. Who was the other third string? Zabystra?
James Zylstra.
Sure. Catches a touchdown. TJ Who is what I tweeted out, because we didn't need him no more. We got a couple boys. We're all right. We'll be just fine.
We knew it.
Yeah. So shout out James Mitchell and whoever Adam said, Zystra. I can never remember his name.
Yeah, him and his brother were pulled up from the practice squad. So, yeah, that was kind of cool.
6
from Minnesota
Arab
State.
Brothers to play with each other in an NFL game.
They're from Minnesota State.
The Lions have like 3 of those tandems, seems like.
We do have the Okora Bros.
All right, boys. That should do it here. As always, we are the Honolulu Blues Show. You can check us out individually at Everyday FFB, Nick Faber NFL, and The Fifth Top. And then if you want to check out our page where we post all our Lions stuff, podcast, tweets, all that good memes and fun, check us out at Honolulu Blues _. We are having another some sort of giveaway coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. I love you doing the sprinkler right there, Nick.
That's a sprinkler, if you guys haven't seen
Keep it fresh,
The chainsaw.
All right, Julius, end this before we get more dance moves out of Nick.
Yo, I got the shopping cart.
Not your dadness.
Dude, the shopping cart, dude.
Is that what Hutch did? What he did, the little like the.
Oh, what did he do? I don't know.
Yeah, and also go vote too.